Addiction doesn't exist. In the past year, I've been hopping on so many calls with all these guys telling me this one phrase, I am addicted. And so I spent years trying to uncover why I was addicted. I went to the NoFap subreddit. I watched all these podcasts on 2x speed about dopamine, identity, addiction. I read all these underground books about addiction, trying to understand the psychology on why are we still addicted. And I discovered the origins to addiction. Now, the roots of this starts with language. Now, language has the power to possess and influence people's perception of reality, right? So let me give you an example. The word relapse, right? Now, when you think of relapse, it means failing, resetting your streak, right? It has all these meanings which mean going back to zero. What does going back to zero mean? It means you're addicted again. And what does being addicted again mean? It means that you are not in control over your actions. You do not have any free will. This is the power of words that can shape your reality and your beliefs. So what is addiction? According to the science definition of it, addiction is defined as not having control over doing, taking, or using something to the point where it could be harmful to you. Addiction is a chronic lifelong condition that involves compulsive seeking and taking of a substance or performing an activity despite negative or harmful consequences. And according to the NoFap community, we characterize porn addiction as a phenomenon of the brain marked by compulsive use of pornography, which proves difficult to stop despite negative consequences and which often worsens over time. So the current perspective on addiction is that once you take the substance, you don't have free will. There is something else controlling you. It is the state where you don't have any control or free will, and you're sort of hijacked by dopamine and the reward system. How it works is when you watch porn, right, you get dopamine. This is like any substance use, whether it be eating sugar, eating a burger, or taking crack cocaine or meth. There's this dopamine increase that you get. Dopamine is a neurochemical which is in charge of your motivation, in charge of anticipating reward. We only produce dopamine in related to things that aid our survival. So when we find berries, when we find, oh, there's a lot of gold here, oh, because gold can be exchanged for food and resources. As you produce more dopamine, this also creates the molecular switch called delta phosphate. Now, what is delta phosphate? Delta phosphate is the molecular switch that basically helps us secure behaviors, secure neural pathways, so we can repeat things, so we can remember it, and we can repeat it again and again and again. And neural pathways are the connection in our brains that are formed based on our habits and behaviors. The analogy of a neural pathway can be explained by going through a jungle, right? You don't have any path. There is no set path created. So you create your own path. You etch out a path for yourself. As you go back and forth using this path multiple times, the path starts to clear up, there starts to be an actual sort of footpath that you can walk. And as you do it more and more, the path becomes more easier and more visible to walk. This ability to change your neural pathways is called neuroplasticity. It is the ability to change your behaviors, your habits, your actions. This explains the phrase that neurons that fire together wire together. So when you're firing the neurons by walking this neural pathway and repeating this behavior, you're strengthening and you're making this behavior more easier to walk to. Now, the one problem with this current perspective about addiction is that they ignore the ability to choose. Because the thing is that having these neural pathways does not compel us to actually use it. The reason why this pathway is strengthened and we keep going to it and keep going to it is because we choose to. We choose to. Now, when we do choose to do this behavior and we strengthen this neural pathway, it's easy to do it because we've done it so many times. But at the end of the day, we have the choice. We have free will. And I'm not denying that your brain doesn't change when you have dopamine, when you jack off every day. Of course it does. But the thing is, these brain changes don't compel you to go down a specific behavior again and again and again.
I think your brain changes into habitual modes. But that just means it's efficient. It doesn't mean it changes your motivation.
Yeah, everything you learn changes your brain. You can learn to play piano, but you're not compelled to play piano.
Perfect. I want you to just memorize that line.
So the truth is that your brain is always changing, but it does not compel you to do the behavior. And so you're using your free will to watch porn because you like it. And the reason why you like it is because you see the benefits in it. You see there are benefits in watching porn. This leads to what the easy peasy method talks about. In the book called The Easy Peasy Method, the cycle of relapsing, which is known as addiction, is simply you trying to not do something that you want to do. And you watch porn because you like it. And you like porn is because you believe that watching porn benefits you. It benefits you in some way. It is the best choice for you. This is what you believe. And this is why you make the decision to watch it. You feel good and you believe it relieves these negative emotions. When you still believe that porn is the best choice for you, you will mope around when you decide to quit. And so you don't actually really want to quit. You haven't even decided to quit because you still believe that this is the best choice for you. And this is why people say, oh, I can't quit, because you still want to do it. you still want to do it. And after coming across the easy peasy method, I came across this book called The Freedom Model, which basically linked to what the easy peasy method was talking about. You seeing the benefits in it is called the positive drive principle. And the positive drive principle states that we tend to make decisions based on what will bring us more happiness. We make decisions in the pursuit of happiness. And according to the freedom model, we use our free will to make the decision. And so I discovered that addiction is simply a decision that you make in pursuit of happiness. All men seek happiness. This is without exception. Whatever different means they employ, they all tend to this end. The cause of some going to war and of others avoiding it. It is the same desire in both, attended with different views. The will never takes the least step but to this object. This is the motive of every action of every man, even of those who hang themselves. Blaise Pascal. So I discovered that addiction is just a decision. We make certain decisions because in our perception, we believe that this is the best option. And we believe that this is the best option because we see it as the decision that will bring us the most happiness. And so the NoFap community has made you adopt this like victim mentality where that you're not in control of your actions. You don't have free will. They made you believe that you are a victim when in fact the whole time you were making the decisions. You chose to do this. And then coming back to language, language has been weaponized. Control language and you control thought. Control thought and you control action. Control action and you control the world. Peter Crift. This relates to what George Orwell said in 1984. In the story, right, they have this dictionary called Newspeak. It was like a new dictionary, which they eliminated certain words such as freedom, rebellion. So people couldn't even understand conceptually what is freedom, what is justice. And when you can't understand things conceptually, you can't communicate it, you can't express it. It influences your reality, the way you view the world. This is how language has been weaponized with the NoFap community. There's like a limited amount of language that can be used to communicate, to express. When you apply that on thousands and thousands of videos, you now have mass conditioning. What does relapse mean? Failing. Why is it failing? Because you watch porn. And what does watching porn mean? You become addicted again. What does addiction mean? It means I'm weak, I'm not in control, I do not have free will, I cannot choose something because I am controlled by something else. That is the belief that you have. Based on the words that have been used, you now have a belief that something else controls you. And so it's not addiction and dopamine which keeps you stuck, but it's rather the self-belief of being powerless. And so you have to understand that so-called addiction is not a thing that latches onto you. It's not like a passive thing that you have, like a disease. It's an active thing that you do. You actively choose to crave, to actively choose to think thoughts like these. And how you make the decision to choose not to do it is as simple as choosing not to do it. And you can only come to this conclusion when you actually don't see the benefits in it. You believe that your life will be better off without porn because you truly, genuinely believe that in your heart. That's when you will quit. And what I want to finish off with is you are in control. You are not a victim. You have power within yourself, and you have the power of free will. You've always had this, and you always will have this. You will make decisions based on what you believe will bring you the most happiness, and you get to keep this for life. So remember, you are powerful. You can make the decision. No one else can make the decision for you, and you have to stop being a victim and hiding behind this identity. It's up to you now. So with that being said, this video needs to reach more people, and so we need to just like the video right now. You liking this video will make it recommended to more people, and when it's recommended to more people are able to see and hear this message that they are in control. If you resonate with the things I say, and since you watched this far, you probably do. You don't want to be a victim, and neither do I. We want to have that sense of freedom, right? That comes with when you socialize with people. You feel that sense of liberation where you're able to express yourself honestly and authentically without feeling constrained and feeling scared. And this is something I've experienced myself recently, and I want you to experience it as well. I want to help you guys live the life that you want to live, socially, financially, and physically and mentally. So if you resonate with this, click the link in the description, join the community below, and I'll see you in there, man. Peace.